So I just finished my miners and gold recap. So instead of redoing exactly what I've just done, I'm going to jump straight into the miners. I never do that, but I feel like it's probably more efficient for all of us. So let's look at Newmont. Obviously, it was a great day on Friday. Newmont was outperforming a little bit. Now, it did get flushed on, so it underperformed the others. Look at this cascading drop, but it's a very nice bottom couple of candles down here. First of all, it's $30, big round number. Second of all, it's Newmont, it's the biggest one, it's a beast. Third of all, we've already come down so much. Fourth, as if we need any more. Gold's pretty much at 2100. It's insane. Yes, Newmont has not had the best let's say financials the last couple of months, but it should be printing money pretty soon. I think it's restructuring quite well. I don't even know any of the details of any of these miners. I know a little bit. I read the latest couple of reports a little bit, a little paragraph summary, but basically I'm going for the big boys and I'm doing it according to the chart. I like the macro fundamentals to the sector, to the underlying metal. And look at this. We're at 30. It's a huge supply zone, I mean, support zone. And enough said. I've already bought this zone. I bought a bit above. I bought above that also. So I've been in this for some time, but I also bought 30 and still a bit disappointing, 2% on a big day, 4% move. But anyway, so here are the trend lines. 30 is very strong. Obviously, it bounced off that quite nicely. Really nice sort of candles down here at 30. Nice move up. First resistance, first level I saw was here, 31.5-ish. It was that last low, then we flushed below it. So it was resistance on these two candles. We closed above it. We also touched this little descending. Some of them, actually, some of these other ones all have a bit of a descending, a sort of tactical one, nothing too strategic or long term, just a bit of a short term descending. So it touched that. Next one, I do expect continuation because this is the beginning of a huge, grand strategic move up, I think, in metals and miners. So you can expect us to go a bit higher. I don't know if it's going to be on Monday, Tuesday, but next week I expect a bit more of a move up. Test 34. 34 is the next level. It's a round number. It was support here. It was resistance on all these candles. I should maybe move this up a little bit. Basically 34. And close above that, we can start visiting the next couple of levels. You can see where they are. It's not too obvious here if this one will count. See, this one was relevant back then. And now for closing 34, we're taking out the standings. We're looking to go. I don't think that will count. So actually, after we take out 34, we can start looking at this 37 and then the descending, the more medium-term descending. And once we take this out, now we're talking maybe 2 weeks out at least. We're looking at the 40. We've got a 40 handle, and then maybe we can start testing the 50 zone eventually. But anyway, for now, I think what you should do is consider this descending. That should be resistance. I think it'll be quickly taken out. 34, and after 34, then you can start looking at a wider range, possibly 37. On the support, 30. I'm not mentioning anything below 30. It shouldn't go there. And if it does, it should be still strong support. Barrick Gold, very nice double bottom here. Bam, we hit it basically just under 14. Next, and we just rose, this is 2 weeks old at least. So I never look at the weekly candles, but it doesn't matter. Daily is just more information. But look at this, nice close. Close higher than we've done in maybe 3 weeks or something. Here's another one with the descending. We touched it. Also prior support. You can see this line. It was also resistance. So this is definitely valid. These two lines, all the lines are valid. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. Once we take out 15, and we're almost doing that on Monday guaranteed, then where do we go? Maybe it is this one. We've got 3 candles where it hits this. Yes, there's one higher. But that one is kind of coinciding with this prior support. It's hard to tell. The descending can stay. I'll just do something like this. See, I do this live and I sort of think out loud, so it's pretty transparent. But I'm seeing something like that, if you know what I mean. Take this out. Then we got this. Is this really one? It's very rough. Not really. But a move from here all the way up there is maybe a bit too much. So I'll leave this in. I'll leave it in something like that. I'm trying to make a bit of an average, taking in the rest. 15.4, it's not really a round number either. There's a lot of chop here. I'll leave it in. Well, let's see how much of a percentage move. So I was thinking about 5% move, 7%. It's quite a lot for a big senior. And this move here, 2.5. I'll leave it in, but it's possible that this one is absolutely wrong. You know what? I'll take it out. See you later. It's better not to have it than to have something with just for noise. Okay, so let's see. We take this descending out and we keep going, and then yes, then I see a bit of resistance. Could be even there. Let's see. It's these three candles we actually got there. There you go. That's what I'm looking at. Don't want to overthink it, you know, because I want to zoom out and remember what the hell's going on. We're talking about 2100 and rising, and here I am trying to add a little 2.5% level in. No, I want more. On the support, just here, we're not going to go there. At least not next week. 14, just below 14. All right, Agnico-Eagle. That's also very nice. Obviously had good news recently, so that's outperforming the others. Better looking chart. Look at this. These are almost identical closes here. It might just be identical. Just below 50. Will definitely 50 is not a level actually. Maybe it was here on support, but not really anymore. But next level, this one's quite hard. Look at all these chops and these wicks. It's not really obvious. So first of all, support will be there. Specifically, these two, actually. If we do have any retracement, I don't see that happening. After that, this one, no, it was support back there, but here it's no longer the case. Delete. There's a bit of a gap fill there. We're not going to get there. Anyway, this is the low. That's the second low. Okay. We're not going to take this out. I don't see it's going below 47.80. On the way up, I would say this is the next place to test. But I don't think that's going to be strong resistance. But that is the next resistance for me. And it's a nice round number, 51. It's just not 50. So I expect us to test that. After that, yeah, then there's this gap fill, but let's look for more than that. Then there's this here, which is both support and resistance. So I think that's relevant. Nice gap between the next level. Don't know if I should add one just for the gap. I'm not going to. Or maybe gap close. Sorry, gap close. Because before the gap, it's just too close to this one. And it's a better midway point. Okay, we'll have that. Just little levels. But again, I'm not looking to sell. I'm looking for the big move. All right, this is just for my sort of information and maybe yours. If you find a value here, though, look at this descending. This lasts over 2 years. So maybe even 3. Wow. So this is obviously relevant. So by the time we start taking out these levels, and I expect us to take them out, boom, boom, boom. It's a massive senior, probably the best one. And it's just had good news. And we're about to cross 2100 and run. So we should be able to go to 55, not too long sometime. Yeah, look at that 10%, 10, 12%. That's doable. Honestly, in 2-3 days, 2-3 very good days, or one amazing day. So yeah, I'm looking for that will be the real first resistance that we encounter. Once we close above that, yeah, then we can play around with the big 60 and basically resume our march up to 90. You know what I mean? Which is almost pretty much 100% move. All of these are going to be doing 100% moves. That's why I'm not in for the little 5% flips anymore. Plus, the country I'm in, tax policy means if you don't trade for 6 months, you keep 100% of the profit instead of getting taxed 40%. So that's another reason why I'm actually changing to more long term. So look at Barrick. Just to go back on Barrick, right? I didn't really want to do this, but 100% move in Barrick, definitely possible. That's just getting back, not even to post-COVID highs. You've done 100%. So look at Newmont. I don't mean to go backwards, sorry. 30, look at that. By the time we get to here, which is where we were just a few months ago, actually, you're almost at 100%. So 100% is definitely doable. It's kind of the minimum expectation for me. Okay, Pan American Silver. This one went all the way down here. Absolute monstrous stock. Very good stock. Very good company. Acquired Yamna, you know, such a good stock. But such a good company. The stock just got slaughtered like everything else. Down here we go. You'd expect to go all the way, at least test this descending. I'll say that straight away, and then break out of it quite soon after, especially if silver runs. First resistance, yeah, where it is here. Let's call it 1340, 1350 or something. You know, you can see it was support here, support there. Yeah, okay, we went below just for 2 days, but it was basically support there, support here, and also kind of resistance when we tried to break out from this downtrend once. So I'd expect resistance, I don't know, 1330 to 1350. It's the same thing. Let's just call it 1340. Look at this close though. Very nice candle. Obviously, it was a very strong Friday. So I'd expect some continuation. And how far away is this, by the way? 3-4%. You can do that very easily, Pan America. So I'd expect a move there, maybe a little bit of resistance. If we do close above, let's call it 1350, then we can run 14. It's very easy. Here we have way too many levels. I'm going to say gap fill. Well, they kind of have a gap fill there. Okay, this is the level. Forget the gap fill. This is more of a level, 1450. Just 50-cent increments when you don't know, I guess. But this ends up being, yeah, 1350, 14, 1450. I don't see 15. I do see 1550 a little bit. And then who cares? Because by the time you go all the way up here, you're looking at this descending, right? And if you do take out the descending, I think you need extra confirmation. And there's nothing better than taking out 17. We were never able to take out 17, close above it. When I say take out, I mean close above it. So once you take out 17, then you can start to really zoom out and say, okay, where do we go? On the way down, obviously, this price support will be real support. So just 12, just above 12, actually. So no, expect a lot. I mean, buying Pan American here would also be, obviously, I already own it quite a lot. But if I was to add to it, that would not be chasing. I mean, for me, I call it chasing because I prefer to buy on red days. But if I really think, or if you really think that it's on, like we're going to run for months, maybe years, 2100 is here. And when we close above it, we're going to stay above it and run. And, 2500 by June, that kind of thing. And I think that really will happen. I'm going to say that. I think if we close above 2100 and we don't just retrace, one of these vomits that we get when we, like last time when we hit 2150 or whatever, and it came all the way back down, big red ugly reversal candle, and then we did reverse, we went down for a while, and only now we're reappearing, 2080, 2100. But if we go to 2100 and run and go to 2500 and silver therefore runs, that will have to go to 27, 30. Where will Pan America be? So me chasing this here, it's not a chase. It's just it would have been better if I bought it yesterday because I'm at the absolute low. But let's zoom out. There's absolutely no difference between buying it at 13 and 12. There's 0% difference, in the grand scheme of things. SSRM, this one was looking so good a few days ago up here. It was so good. And then I think they had their earnings, they announced their dividends cut and all that, and it just lost the steam, it underperformed. And it was just horrible timing because even though for me it was, a lot of people knew that it was obvious that they were going to cut their dividends and all this, just ruined the chart. And it was basically outperforming all the other miners, all the senior miners. And I have not most of my money. This is my heaviest holding still. And it was red on that Friday. And I'm just thinking, no, I need to not cut my losses. I need to cut some, make it at least worth the same as the others. Because if this one and this one should start going down, I mean, imagine the miners have a red day next week. This is just going to flush to $4, maybe hit its old low of 370, where I picked some up for 377 or something. And it'd just be a shame to, to offset some of the gains by being an SSR mining. I think this deserves to go to 10. I think it will, but it's just the timing of that release of news. And then the technicals, it's just the damage of the technicals means I wasn't too surprised it couldn't participate in the Friday run. And I just know that if there's a red day, it's just gonna go down. I mean, let's look at the 15-minute chart, because the dailies there's not enough data down here to really see too much into the daily. Look at that, just big flush, the mine collapsed, everyone saw the video. But look at this, it's just ready to run. If there was no dividend cut announcement and it just ran with all the others, we'd be at probably 6 by now. It'd be an amazing Friday. but it didn't happen. I think it happened here or something. But down we go. Again, looking really good into the close, but look at this now. Opens, flushes, and it's just lower highs. And I mean, I've drawn these little lines. You can see they're quite good, actually. Little pennants, descending ones to break out of. But no, it's still weak. Got to remember how strong Friday was. So for me, if we start to flush or close below this pennant, and I wouldn't be surprised it happens. If Monday or Tuesday is a sideways day, that's probably enough for a flush to 4. Who knows? We could easily flush a 380. I think there'll be strong reversals because I don't think anything is too surprising. It's just the way the market's trading off the news, but I don't think it's a real surprise. Cutting dividend after, kind of collapse that they endured. But once this reverses, this will be great. So I have no fear. This is not some Chinese stock going bankrupt. This is SSR Mining that lost, 50% of its value, more 60 pretty much, when it was already undervalued. Like even if it was at 10 right now, it'd be a good buy. So here we are at 4 when they've just lost 1 of 4 mines, which will probably come back on. So a lot of people have a better way of summarizing how it's fantastic value. But technically, it's not strong, and we just had a beautiful move, so this is not great. So if we have a red day, I expect a flush to 4, maybe even 375, the low. If we go below that, I don't even want to really consider where that will be. I'd probably look at the GDX or just trade this on the 1 or 3 minute. But I see 3, how is it 3? Yeah, 350. I don't know. I actually don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't see it's going lower. Otherwise, I will add in. I will buy more. This is a monster stock, and you just got to buy on fundamentals. But maybe you can use your zoomed in short-term technicals to get it even cheaper. But there you go. Now, if it starts to reverse, it's got a lot of catching up to do. And if momentum can keep it going, this should start not filling gaps. But, I don't see much resistance until 8. I already said it in my last video. 8 is the real support. This is all a big gap. There's no, even on the 1 or 3 minute, this is just one big cliff jump. So there's no resistance on the way up. Doesn't mean you go up in one go, but it means you can pretty much aim for high sells if you start clearing 5. If you close above 5 and run, 6, maybe just use 50-cent increments. But I'm in it for at least 8, 9, 10, and then I'll sell resistance and buy back if I have to. But I'm in this one for a long time. All right, next one is Wheaton. Wheaton did do what I wanted. So another one where bad news, and this surprised me because this is a monster stock. Bad news, down it goes, hits support. I was buying before we get here. I think I bought 41, 40, and 39 or something, but down it went even to 38s. I didn't buy that, which is stupid because I'm the one with the trend line. I mean, it's an obvious one, but I don't know. I think I just bought enough, or I bought already at 39. I didn't think it would get this low, and I'm buying other stuff. So, but there we go. Boom, it reverses. I actually had this highlighted in yellow because this is where I thought it would come back to, because previously I had this trend line, if you remember. But I deleted it because it's now null and void. But I wanted it to revisit this trend line, which it did. So there you go. I didn't sell. Normally I would sell, right? Normally I would flip it. Yeah, I bought here 41, 39, boom. Now it's going back up to 43, sell what I bought down here, and then I'm happy. And if it comes back down, I buy back what I sold with the proceeds, and I'm winning whether it goes up or down. But no, I held because this is a monster stock. It's senior, and I'm in it for the long term, and I'm going to hold it at least 6 months. At least, maybe even 1 or 2 years, we'll see. But I expect the royalties. And by the way, it dropped on news where they said they only expect to make 50% profit in the next 5 years, which is, I expect more, but that's still a big move for a big stock. 50% in the next 5 years, that sounds like good news, but it went down on the news. So that's why I use technicals rather than sort of news related analysis. But this is a nice bounce, let's just see if we can continue. So levels, first of all, on the way down, we have a gap fill. So 40, big round number, and gap fill here. I might even raise that there. Otherwise, if we go below that, then it's going to be this last low down here, 38 point, let's call it 6. On the way up, resistance is still 42.50. We won't need to close above it. Then we have a gap fill, that's there. That's 44, big round number. After that, we have Yeah, 45, big round number. That was also support and resistance. And after that, well, this is not actually a level. It's going to be the descending that's a level. And then we'll see once we take out that descending. That's not going to happen for some time, I reckon. At least a week. Okay, next is Franco Nevada. Another beast. You see, I got to take these out. Yes, this is where I believe it will go. But I would usually sell there, but actually, even though I think it will be resistance and will come back down from there, I'm still not going to sell because I'm in it for the long term now. First of all, yeah, okay move. How much was it up to? You can see it up there, 2%. That's nothing. That's not enough. Not impressive. We just need to break out of this mini descending. Once we do, we're going to move higher than just there. We're probably going to go visit the old high of the last couple of months, which is 114, which is easy. So the descending, let's call it 110 for now, then 114. If we start to go down, which I just don't really want to fathom at the moment, but if we do, it's 104. Otherwise, we've got the absolute low 102. I remember that. So it's tight range, but I expect it to break out on the upside. After that, it should run to 122 and possibly higher, 127-ish. And by the time we get there, by the way, imagine how long it takes. We're probably hitting our descending, and it probably take longer than that. So maybe this 122 is actually the descending by the time it gets there, right? You know what I mean? Just even if it's pretty aggressive, that's how long it takes. So there you go. And on the way down, I covered that. All right, next one is Metalla, which absolutely, puked lower. It wasn't really puke, just an orderly decline. But I wasn't happy to see it, no matter how orderly. I did not add to Metalla, actually. I haven't added to Metalla in a long time. In fact, I've just bought it when it was down here, 280s, 290s or something, and my average is like 285. When I haven't actually sold it or bought it, so down it was at 230 almost, 230s, and I never did any trade, but whatever, it's fine, absolutely fine. I'm buying other stuff, and I just thought it was too close to my last buy. I was buying other things that were more of a bargain, for example, SSR mining. But if it did start to flush to low twos, I would have bought it. But anyway, nice little bullish engulfing reversal. That's just what we need. I expect continuation. Where is next resistance? Well, where was prior support? 270-ish. You could almost say that we're kind of there, right? 260 was also this level, so that should also be. I expect a bit of a move up though. So 270 resistance. If we can take that out, then this descending, look at that. That's quite a long-term one. It doesn't hit too many times, but it's long-term. And it does hit 3 significant times. So I reckon watch out, because that's where that massive long-term line is. Once you take out 270 and you start getting close to 3, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the trigger. $3, big round number, clear horizontal support, but also perfect timing to confirm breaking out the descending. So $3 for me, Metalla is the real one to take out, is the real resistance, the descending, and $3 to extra confirm it. Otherwise, the drop, 235. All right, next one is going to be now the silver stocks. This is where it starts to get interesting for the aggressive moves. I kept on drumming about how this was support, but I didn't buy it myself. I was buying other stuff. But I mentioned even the day where it hits, well done everyone who did buy here. And it's looking better and better. We're so close. It's pretty much the same thing. Again, zoom out. What's the difference between 470 and even 420? I mean, you'd say 10%, but it's zero in the grand scheme of things. But look at this. This is coiled for a breakout. You can just, I mean, I know it's already taken out these trend lines, but it hasn't. I haven't seen that one before, have I? Did I miss that? Oof. That's a monster one. Yeah, I'm happy I did that. Okay, so next resistance is going to be, it's actually just before $5. It's 490. That's interesting. Yeah, it's 490 and 510. I remember this. This can be done Monday, like pre-market. I don't think this is much to ask for from First Majestic. If we have a bit of silver outperforming the metals just up a little bit, I'd expect some silver stocks to continue their move. Look at EXK. We'll take a look at that soon. But I think the silver stocks just have so much catching up to do. I think a lot of people know it. Short sellers, momentum buyers. I don't know. People did their research over the weekend. Small move to 490. We take that out, 510. 510 is nothing, by the way. So much so, I mean, it's a pit stop move intraday. I should delete this line. It's just, I know it will be a pit stop intraday, so I'll leave it. Hopefully we can clear these so I can just delete them straight away, but I do think they are actually valid. Now on the way down, I'll cover that very quickly. It's all of this zone, so 440 to 420, just everything. Buy this. It's great. On the way up, 490, 510, 540. That's your next real resistance after basically 490, because this is nothing. By the time you hit there, give it a couple of days, 2-3 days, you're hitting descending resistance. And once you take that out, and we know how important that one is, then we're back at squeeze levels. So honestly, every level here is valid in my opinion. So I leave it. I don't see anything wrong with them, but I think you can go straight to 650 once you take out this descending. I don't really care what's going on. You can go to straight to 660. And once you close above 650, 660, especially 660, then it's 7. 7 is nothing. 7 is just one small step on a chain of steps all the way up to basically 950. So first Majestic is an absolute squeeze candidate. It's been a squeeze candidate in the past. I remember the Reddit boards ended up making it the #1 squeeze candidate. And I just see technically this is obviously fundamentally, numerically, gold is almost 2100. I'm sorry, but if silver starts to follow, all the stars align. So first Majestic is absolutely primed for a move. A lot of the silver stocks are. Let's look at first. That's Majestic now. Fortuna Silver. It's the acronym of the stock that gets me each time. This is beautiful. Very strong, by the way. 7.5% move. And the bottom is in kind of candle. Not even bullish engulfing, just a monster Gandalf candle. I don't know why I say that. Like, you shall not pass, but it's not even that. It's just a very strong candle. Close near high of day, 7.5%. It's clearly confirmed that this is the low, coinciding perfectly with the last low of basically 260. Next resistance, $3. It's not very strong. It's actually just above $3, but basically $3 is support, so it should be resistance. After that, 320, it was the high of all these candles. We popped our head above, we never closed above, so 320 for all of them. After that, 340, it's the high from here. After that, we've got a gap fill, 350. This is all correct. I've drawn these all before. This little gap fill is irrelevant because this is a bigger gap, and once you close above it, you want to run more. So then you've got 390, and then you've got basically 420. All these horizontals are correct. There's no descending to draw. It's just let's close above 3. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Good momentum. So this is how it starts, you know, the big move. It starts with a big, nice day like this, and then just some continuation, climbing a wall of worry. So Fortuna Silver looks good. Next one is EXK, the one I hate, which did so well. This is what it needed. This descending line that I kept on talking about as I sort of figured it out, you know, whilst it kept on doing these lower highs, I was like, oh, we have a descending, we got to take this out. And every time we got close, it just didn't do it. And you know, Friday, it did it. Clearly, it did it. Well overdue, but at least a clear breakout. Closed at the high of day. Absolutely at the high of day. Huge 13.5% move off support, which was ended up being 144, you know, let's call it 150, but we've taken out the descending. Now what? And I haven't drawn any lines. It's just what I've had for a while. Yes, 180 was support there and resistance there. 180 is the next resistance. I don't think it's big resistance. It might be asking a lot to just keep going after already quite a big move, but I think you can do it. This thing is butchered all the way down to the lows. And I think it's quite unwarranted. So 180 should be resistance. If you can close above 180, it's hard to call the horizontal. The descending is clear and we've already breached it, but the horizontals on the way up, like $2 is, there's no clear support resistance, you know? So I ignore $2. I'm just gonna stick with what I already drew, 230. 180, 230. By the time you hit 230, you're dealing with the second descending, and then you're probably going down a little bit. But once you take that out, then it's the big one, the 280. You know, this was clear support in the past, long, I don't want to say long term, but several months at least. So that's a big one. And then we'll see after that. But this is exactly what I wanted to see for a stock that I absolutely detest. So once I think it's exhausted, maybe I'll sell it and put all the proceeds in something else. I was thinking about Hecla, which I still don't own. Well, I'll talk about Hecla when I get there. But this is exactly what I wanted to see from this one. The next one is CDE. My favorite for moves up. It didn't go up that much. It was only up like 4.5%, which is not that much for a day like Friday. But look what happened just a few days before. It was closing below 250, which was support. So it's kind of undone the technical damage. So fair enough. Next resistance for me is up here, $3. Nice round number, nice clear sort of gap, not gap fill, but pre-gap fill attempt. So, just before you start doing the gap fill. So yeah, several reasons that $3 is the resistance. I don't see anything before that. You could say 280, little attempts before very recently on the daily, but it's just too much. It's just nitpicking. So $3. After that, completing the gap fill 320. It's always 20 cents after the one unit has been taken out. I always notice 20 cents, like 120, 220, 320. It's always 20 cents. So gap fill at 220, and after that, you could be very, very detailed and say 350, but no, I'm just going to stick with 370. Keep it simple. On the way down, I think 250 is now back support. I don't think you've lost it because of this breach a few days ago. I think it's regained its relevance. So that's it for CD. And then we're not going to talk about moving down here, $2. That's just not going to happen. So that is CDE, my favorite one. I want to see it start outperforming. I want it to start having days like EXK had. That's normally what it would do, 13%. Discovery, beautiful. I don't know if it did have a 6% day. This is nothing. This should scream up. This is a squeeze candidate, just like First Majestic, maybe even more, maybe even sooner, because first of all, it held this 44, 45 cent range very well, even whilst the index kept on flushing. So I don't see any issues with it going down. I don't see it going down, but I see it going up. And we've hit this descending, and it's just absolutely crushed. It's a good stock. So next resistance, yeah, 50 cents. After that, 60 cents. I don't see anything between 50 and 60 really. Then you do have a little 65, 70. 70 is the big resistance. So I've spoken about this before, but look at this descending that I just saw. This, let's see, it's not the most liquid stock, but if we can, I don't want to say gap higher, it doesn't really do that. It doesn't have pre-market action. But if you can start quickly going to 48.50, then the squeeze is taking place. So that's Discovery. The next one would be Aris Mining. I never even looked at this one. Yeah, this one's not that liquid, so the candles are a bit erratic, but that's why I make a bit of an average. 280. Yeah, 280 was support. It was resistance. It's kind of support. We're back up. Nice day. Up 4% almost. We're hitting this descending. You see, they all have it. Even if they have different charts, they all have a bit of a descending, which is my favorite one to take out. And this one could take it out immediately on Monday. If we start trading above $1, it's done. Resistance, yeah, 320. It should be easy. This thing should have a magnet to about 340 because it's a good stock. It's had good news nonstop. And this 320 resistance is really feeble. It's just intraday stuff. It's just maybe asking it to go to 340 in one go. That's more than a 10% move. Maybe that's a bit too much, but yeah, 320, and then maybe later on in the same week, 340. Let's see if we can hold 340, because once we take out 340, maybe we can take out 360. And 360 is the last resistance before basically a huge jump to the 480, which is quite a move, by the way, just from 370, 360 to 480 is 30%. That's huge. So this one, very good. The support will just be still 280, because now, first of all, it hasn't never really cracked 280. These are sort of fake candles, let's say. But once we get to 280, we also have the ascending trend line acting as support. So I think Aris Mining is very good buy down at 280. Right. After that, we're looking at MAG. MAG Silver, bit like EXK. Didn't have as good a day, only 4%, not even, but it has taken out its little descending. Right. It wasn't too obvious up until that Friday. You know what I mean? Boom, done. Um, also off the bottom, which ends up being 820. Which ends up being 820. I think, yeah, bit of a level in the past during the COVID drops. So next resistance should be 890, but that's so close that I almost feel like deleting it. I mean, how much of a move is that? If we're talking about huge moves coming now, 2% is just nothing. Sorry. No, I'm just going to delete it out of principle, even though it is a bit of a level. I think you can expect it to keep going once it gets there anyway. 940, no, not really. It's quite hard actually. I'm gonna say your first real levels, there's several little levels. $10, whatever. $10. Big round number, clear support. I mean, yes, it drops below. It could be a little below, 970 or something, but anywhere between 970 or 980 and 10. Yeah, 980 and 10 is your first real level of resistance. And even there, it should keep going. Look where we are. You'd expect a much bigger move, at least touching this big descending, a move that takes you to where we are, like 30% move. So let's see, $10. After that, you can start playing around with the $11 and then the descending. On the drop, I'm going to say 830. Keep it simple. Max Silver has a lot of catching up to do and a lot to make up for. So I'm not looking for selling this below 10. This is actually one that I want to liquidate and use its proceeds elsewhere. I still don't own B2Gold, Hecla, or IamGold. I want to buy IamGold. I'll show that in a second, but I think you get more money out of those. I think if you took out the money you got in MAG and put it in one of those, like IamGold, you just end up making more money. So, and that's all that counts. But maybe Mag Silver can make initially a bigger pop. So it's something I'm considering, sell the pop when I think it's exhausted and then buy IamGold. Maybe not the same day. Maybe I'm timing the exhaustion in the mag pop with a sort of sector-wide retracement lower, and then I can buy the drop in IamGold. It's something I've got in mind. All right, mag, I think there's the second last of my own before I go to subscriber requests and other watch lists. So GoGold. So this one ended up hitting this little level here, which I did have also. Why did I have it? It was support there, kind of resistance there. It did go above, but also here, as soon as we took out this sort of 60 to 70 zone, we just squeezed and never came back. But here we are. We came back. We curled, we popped. Nice pop, by the way, 11%. That's worthy. And where do we go? We hit prior support. And I did actually have this level in before. I think I got a bit lucky here because that's not really obvious support. I would have said here, but I think I just moved it down because of this candle. Well, there you go. It hit resist support, becomes resistance. We need continuation. The next level I can see is 90. And if we take that out, it's basically $1. This descending, forget it. I'm not gonna, yeah, 90 is kind of resistance for 1 or 2 hours maybe, but you're looking for a big move and it's gonna hit this hugely relevant descending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you don't count this, 6, multiple hits off several years or several months, just 2 years. I mean, that's an amazingly obvious and therefore credible descending resistance. So if you're going to go anywhere, you're going to go all the way up there. Forget the other ones, the mini levels before, and it's 20%, but that's just 2 days like today. So there you go. I think basically what equates to $1 at the moment, that should be huge resistance. Then we retrace. Once we close above it, then let's see if we can take out this horizontal, which we never did before, 115. Once you close above 115, then you zoom higher. But by then I think you've got gold above 2100 for sure, probably above 2150 close. on the way down, then it's just going to be price support, so 70, and after that, I think you're going to see 60. Just do 10-cent increments after that. I don't love this stock, but I think it's got potential to run. So a bit like Mag Silver, I prefer this money elsewhere. It's just not as good a stock as the others, but I'll try and sell the high, right? If we pop like 20, 30%, I'll try and sell that before it retraces like 8, 15%. Right, last one from my stocks that I own, SBSW. This is high risk, high debt, I believe, and it's not just gold, it's other metals. But look at this. This visited the absolute low of $4, but nice little bounce. Not amazing, 3%, but still. I just feel like it's got a beautiful descending, like many others, but this one maybe even better. This one really respects its descending resistance. That's why I bought it here to take out this one. And I feel like it'll do it here. It took out one descending to now take out its secondary one, and then it probably runs all the way to the highs up here, 580. Again, I have the little horizontal resistance on the way, but I just feel like this one moves. So I'm looking for a move above 460, close, about a daily close above 460, and then a little retrace, whatever, just sideways action, and then bam, pump all the way to 580. And once you take out 580, now you're finally looking at the big moves. But this one, look at that zoom out. This is such a huge mover. This is 100% very quickly. Look at that. Once you take out 580 and you're running to 7, and then maybe even same week all the way up to 8. And then you realize, wait, 8, that's 100% of where we are now. So this is and that's just the start. 8 is still like, nowhere near the old highs. So 100% is easy in this one. If it goes up. On the support side, $4. After that, you got the COVID low, 350, and then the low before then, $3, 50-cent increments on the way down. Pretty simple. There you are. That's all of my portfolio done, I think. Yes, it is. Normally I go on now to look at I'll do it straight away. Go on. Next one, Eldorado. This one was doing very well before, creeping up, hitting resistance. But look, since then we started to do some back and forth up here. And then boom, we flushed. Obviously, we've gone down and everything, but where did it go down to? It came all the way back down to this ascending. I mean, I put so many lines in, I'm going to get it right eventually, but it's quite interesting. It's the longer term ascending that kind of did it over here, 970. I haven't drawn any lines, so you can see. But here you can see also this was very clear, 1150. The gap, the retest didn't break above it. So that gap has remained a gap, actually. We've never traded within it for quite some period. So I think I'm going to leave everything here. This one can probably go, actually, this one line. I can see why I did it. It was like the resistance there and it was support there, but it didn't really count here. So there you are. I cleared the screen. I think everything remains relevant. So this is one of the ones I'm considering. I wanted to consider buying. I think something that was strong very recently is something you should buy when there's been a drop, because it's the type of one that's going to go up more. In the past when I started trading, I would buy things that are more demolished, but just because something is destroyed doesn't mean it's going to stop being destroyed. There's a reason for it being destroyed. So it's better to buy things that were going up, but then took a drop because of a sector-wide drop. So this one, although I think they had a little bit of bad news very recently, but I don't think that bad news renders obsolete the general positive pieces. But anyway, it was between Eldorado, Hecla, IamGold, Equinox, and B2 Gold. That's a good memory. I think it was the 5 or 6 ones that I was considering buying as a chase move because of Friday's move. But I'm already heavily in the sector with what I've just covered, especially the seniors in the beginning. So this is one of them. But it just hasn't come down that much. The others are just, well, I'm going to show you Hector, for example. I just think you could make more out of the others. But then again, long term Eldorado, when I zoom out, once you take out your 1350, 1450, got clear skies. Now that doesn't mean we're going to go all the way up to here, but it does mean it could really run to 20, and that's a pretty big move. That's still 100% from where we are now. So something I need to consider when I'm out doing some bike ride when I'm not looking at charts. Sometimes it's better to just have some fresh air. I don't want to overlook the chart, but I know what they look like. Okay, that's Eldorado. Support, by the way, I mean, the resistance is the horizontals on the way up. The support, the ascending, if you lose the ascending, it's going to be this 850 and then every horizontal after that. Although this one is probably obsolete because once you take out 850, you're probably going to go much lower. But, you know, what you see is what I think you get. Next after Eldorado will be Hecla. Hecla. You know, maybe this one's better than Eldorado if you want to buy, because first of all, it started to flush even the 350 zone. You can see here, real support was, I mean, last line in the sand was 340, and we were trading just below 340. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. Closed below 340, and no, it ended up being just sideways action here. And now we're coming out here, a beautiful close, 370. It looks like we want to go up, and we do want to go up. And, you know, am I really chasing Hecla here? No, because it's basically the low for almost for several years. You know, since COVID, pretty much. You know, this is it coming out of COVID here. So I probably should be buying Hecla for the silver run if I really believe what I say, which is gold runs at 2100, silver catches up, the miners catch up, and then you've got one of the best quality silver miners out there at absolute lows. I should be buying this, you know. So this one I'm really considering. Next stop. So support, by the way, this one is no longer support. This I can delete. That's absolutely sure. The support is 340, just below. And after that, I think I was just plucking $3 out of thin air because I thought it was too much of a drop to 270. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so if we go up, apparently this is a level 390. It's too close. Sorry, it's too close. I can see why it was support there, but given where we've stopped now, I think if you're at 370, you can easily run 10%. I know it sounds like a lot, but just like take out 4 and then just overdo it a bit. Yeah, I'm going to say this is the next real level for 420, right? It should be 420 actually, but I seem to have 410. Made an average. Okay, I'll leave it there. General level. It's true that 390 is a bit of a level actually, but okay, I'll put it back. Just because I might end up buying this, so I might need to know some tactical levels just on that day. So 390, 415-ish, give or take 5 cents. And after that, yes, 450, nice round number, gap fill, 470, and then the descending. Yeah, it's all correct. I'm not going to argue. On the way down, yeah, I covered that. So this one looks really good for a move up, probably to hit the descending, then retrace, then close above the descending, then visit the old high it made, pretty much at $5 just above, and then let's see what can happen. But if silver runs, this will run. The next one is B2 Gold, the one I said I wanted to buy so much, didn't buy yet. And it had a beautiful day on Friday, which it should do. It's a really nice candle. It's such good. Like, look at this dirty candle, close at low of day. Everyone hates it. Oh my God, what did I do buying it all here at the lows? What I thought was a low. Next day, a little stabilization, but Thursday was an okay day, and then Friday, bam, it was all worth it kind of day. So this one, again, this is one of the 5 where I'm considering chasing because I didn't buy this one. I was buying others, even though it's got like a 6% dividend. And you know, buying it here is again, what the hell is the difference between 240 and 260? It's not much at all. You know, if you're talking multiple month hold all the way to $4, it's, you know, maybe even higher. $5 is possible if gold starts to really run. That's 100%. So let's cover the levels on the way down. Let's say 235, 240 actually, really. After such a strong move, it's probably going to find buying below around 240. So 240 is the level-ish. Below that, what's the point in covering that? But let's say COVID low. Yeah, it's COVID low, 220. Now, on the way up, this should be resistance. Very minimal, irrelevant resistance, but resistance nonetheless. So let's call it 265. After that, bigger resistance. Why? Because we hit it before and before that. So very big resistance. 280. If we keep going, then it's this level here. We've hit that for several months at a time. This is big consolidation zone. $3. $3. So 265, useless resistance, but resistance nonetheless. 280, $3. There are your little 20-cent increments on the way up. And then after that, you've got this descending to deal with, and that should be your biggest resistance yet. And then we'll see if you get to close above that, back test, go back up, then you've got 340. Kinross. I've got a few of these where they've lost their ascending and they've reversed back into it. So thankfully I didn't delete it. Kinross is okay. It's strong uptrend actually. I remember when it was very weak during this period, but it held its own. Now we're back here, close the high of day. You've got this resistance at 512, but it's back above 5. I don't know if this 512 really counts actually, because it's so close to where it is, and there's another resistance here which is more significant. I'm going to delete it. I can see why I did it, but we're pretty much there anyway. 512 and 508 is the same thing, especially when you close at high of day. This ascending, I wonder if I should delete it because we're trading out of it already. Delete it. I'll delete it. It might be easier. Okay, so first real resistance is 530. If you do hit that, it coincides with the descending. That's the only resistance to worry about. Then once you close above it, back test it, don't flush down. Then you've got your next one at 580. And this one at $6, really 630. So, okay, that's it. On the way down, it's going to be your old support here now. Let's call it just below 480, 470. And then after that, you've got this slow down here for 430. Equinox, another one that kind of had its ascending ruin and then back up above it. But again, here I'm going to delete the ascending. It is kind of null and void, especially when the horizontal did all the support. Here I can delete these aren't relevant. It was just to signal how significant it was, but I remember that now. That's probably why I will end up buying it, or it's on my recommendation list. So there you go. That's clearer. Just horizontals left. Support at 4, big round number. Support before, support now. Again, another one that had this sort of false breakdown, closed below $4. Oh my God. And then next day up we go, Thursday, Friday. Next resistance is 460. I think I want to keep that one, even though it's relatively nearby. We closed the high of day, but look how many times we hit it. Boom, 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 boom recently. So I can't imagine it just going through it without caring. So I'll leave this one in. After that, yeah, nothing until up here. Interesting, $5 is nothing. No resistance to me. After that, this high. After that, that high. Yeah, makes sense. Nothing but horizontals. I don't see us going below this $4, but if we do, it's this slow down here. Equinox, very good one. Very good one. Just one I have to consider. It's one of the ones where I just feel like it's got a lot of. I mean, look, just to go back up to it's all high up, 30%. They've all got they've all got 30% in them at least. It's just which one can do it quicker than others, and which one has staying power long term. Which one's a very solid company. Again, I'm not an expert in all these companies at all. I think Equinox is run by Ross Beatty or something, one of the really good names. That's also what attracts me to it. They always say management is the number one element in investing in these miners. So that's something I have to consider. Goldfields. It always surprised me how much it moves. Look at that, 6% for a big stock, big numbers. Despite its highs being nearby, it surprises me. This one, it's quite hard to call the levels, but it's just the levels I put in work so well. First of all, the low down here, this 1230, is just held. Look at this, 1, 2, you could say 3, 4, it held perfectly. The high is obviously this $16 and just above, you've got this 1650 and then this absolute high. But this midway point seems to be working quite well. Look how many times we hit it, on the way down, on the way up. So, and also we closed nearby. So, and it's a round number, $14. So for me, everything is correct. The technicals are valid. So there you go. I like this stock. I used to own it, made a lot of money on it. Actually, one of the few ones where I just made loads of money, left it, and that's it. Instead of the other ones where I just held them but I mean, I owned this one. Where was it? I owned this one. No, not over the lows. Oh, I'm starting to forget now. Before the big move up. Ah, yeah, down here. Yeah, yeah, over here. Huge move up and all this beautiful stuff. But anyway, I'm still surprised how much it moves and how much it still outperforms other good stocks. So very good stock. Very impressed. I just don't think I'll buy back in. It's just I don't see too much upside compared to the others, but still getting proven wrong actually on a daily basis. So well done, Goldfields. Novagold. This one had a decent move the other day. That was on Thursday when no one else had a beautiful day. Novagold outperformed everyone else, but Friday it kind of made up for it by not moving. So I don't know this stock very well. I know it's been destroyed, but it's the one where I haven't read great news about it. And to be honest, it's not really performing still. So although this one is destroyed to very long-term levels of support, I'm still not interested in it. I cover it because I think it's a big stock. To be honest, no one else really covers it, but I just think it deserves a bit of respect. So I'm showing it some mention here, and resistance for me 260 clear, right? It's the last time it went up there. If it runs more, I don't know about this. It's $3. It's probably the descending that'll be the resistance and the only resistance, because once you clear that, it happens before $3. If you can break out of it successfully, hold it, close above the breakout, and then you run to prior support, which is up here. So this actually is probably relevant. You know what? Take it out, even though it's a big round number. Support will be the old low from down here, but I don't see us going down support on any of the stocks. I think momentum is at least for the next week the upside. So I won't talk too much about support on any of these. Next one, IamGold. This is the one. For me, this is the one that's better than, like B2Gold, Hecla. They're all good. Everything I've said about them in the past, the dividends, all that is good. It's just this one. I'm telling you, this one wants to go up more than all the others. This is the beauty about charts. You can see it. It's speaking to you. The others are more destroyed. Yeah, I get that. But this one is just, whilst everything else was going down, this one is just, okay, we were down here. We went all the way up, except unlike the others, we didn't go all the way back down. We were just holding, just higher lows, higher lows. I don't want to say higher highs, but higher lows. And then, we had a false breakout here because the whole sector was getting crushed. So it said, okay, you're not allowed today. I think I even mentioned that on my videos. And then again today, look at this. Close above this resistance. And more importantly, look at this long-term resistance. Yes, I don't cut up here. I just wanted to make sure I touch here. We are breaking out in IamGold, like long-term breakout. And this next stop is 330. It will do it very quickly. This is the one I want to buy more than all the others. And I don't care about buying here. Once we hit 330, we go sideways. And then what happens? I'll zoom out. It's one of the stocks that can go up a lot. And, we're not even at 3. We're 6 up here. This is 100% in a few weeks, months. So this stock is probably the best one that I don't own. So this one, deep down, I've known is the strongest one. And you can see it in the chart. Remember what the GDX and GDXJ charts look like. This one, in fact, you could probably do something like this. IamGold versus GDX. Oh, that should work. Okay, normally that works. Maybe I got that wrong. I'm sure you can do that. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it's a slash, but you can do it on stock charts. You can do it. I won't do it now. But the point is, it's probably just going top right vertically. Yeah, vertically top right because it's outperforming. So for me, first of all, let's do support, even though I don't think it's worthy of a conversation for next week. Support is just going to be this ascending one. If it even comes back down, the last low was pretty much here, 230. So I'd say 240 is your support. Otherwise, if it flash crashes, a small flash crash, it's going to be this ascending. Otherwise, a really big crash, again, no chance of it happening, but $2, just below $2. And forget the other horizontals are irrelevant. It's not going to happen. Now, resistance, I would say, is 270, but we've already closed above it. I'm going to take that out. It's going to be this descending, which pretty much taken out. Once we close above the high of this false breakout, 282, 283, you can start looking at this 330. $3 is not even resistance. It's just, actually, it might be a little bit. But I'm not even going to put it up. Number one. It's a little bit of resistance just because of these candles here, but nothing major. Yeah, that's it. Up to 330, and then some sideways action, and then the breakout continues, and then up you go to, honestly, something like 385. I think I'm going to buy IamGold. I'm going to buy this one. If I'm going to buy any, it's going to be this one. And I've read some good stuff about it. You know, long term, it's looking very solid. So IamGold is going to be the one. I'll make a note of that after this video. Okay, Harmony. This one a bit like Goldfields. Decent dividend, very strong. If you zoom out, by the way, look, it's a bit, don't want to say like IamGold, but you can see it's, you know, just looking for an excuse to continue its breakout and then hit this resistance. So for me, support, look at this, clear support, 540. Below that, you've got this horizontals, but it's not going to happen unless there's really bad surprise news, gap fill here. So the horizontals are valid. And a bit like Eldorado, if it really flushes, this ascending should be support. On the way up, nothing until the high of 670. If you take out 670, we run to the next one. Clear and obvious, 760. If you take that out, it's not going to happen, but at least not next week in one go. But then you've got this huge descending, which is just above. So maybe what happens is it takes time to break out and then ends up happening together. Ends up hitting like 770, maybe, or just above. You know, these two will coincide as one resistance. That might happen because they're so close and they're converging pretty much. And that looks pretty good, actually, Harmony. Last stock, Anglogold. Another one which is just sort of sideways, but holding quite well down here on the lows of the 16, and it held again. And look, it took out this descending. Yeah, that was resistance. And now it's running towards the next one. It's good. See, it worked. This was resistance. We took it out, and now it's leading to this one. My next level here, $20, big number, definite resistance. If it takes that out, then yeah, up here, a little gap fill completion at 2150, bit of a round number. All the levels are correct, if I may say so myself. Okay, that'll do. Hopefully that was a bit quicker, and I hope you found that of value, etc. Please comment, subscribe, like, share, and do all that stuff. And I'll try and do more videos despite my upcoming holiday. So good luck to all of us next week. Let's see what happens. 2100, close above that, get silver in the miners to run, and everything else to follow.